gather around the table once again for another session of Dungeons and Drakfus, and today we're going to be taking on the first step in Tier 5 content. So on Monday, we had a bit of a double header. We took care of Gruul's lair and Magtheridon's lair, but now it's time to deal with the immediate problem on Outland, which is the forces of Illidan. Now, we already took care of the Fellow Orc problem with Magtheridon, but now we need to take care of the first ever army that Illidan had in his service, which is the Naga. That's why, again, we're here at Coilfang Reservoir. It's time for us to take on the raid wing, which is Serpentshrine Cavern. And before we step in here, I want to read off the lore that we have according to Wowpedia. Whoever controls the water controls Outland. These are the words of Lord Illidan Stormrage to his most trusted lieutenant, Lady Vashj. Shortly after the Third War, when Illidan requested the aid of the Naga, a group of Naga led by Lady Vashj answered his call. Ever since, Vashj has displayed a fierce dedication to Illidan. Now the Naga which carefully monitors Coilfang's operations from her seat of power within Serpentshrine Cavern. Far more at home here among the waters of the reservoir than locked within the cold stone walls of Black Temple, Vashj maintains a close eye on her minions and personally oversees the draining of Zanger Marsh. Whether her loyalties belong to Illidan alone, however, remains to be seen. Now, we've actually had confirmation later on that yes, Vashj was very loyal to Illidan. So at that point, let's go ahead and step into the Serpentshrine Cavern, which has quite a few bosses. And this is actually 25-man content, so if you were lucky enough to get into a 25-man guild, you got one of the best experiences, in my opinion. Like, story-wise, I don't think Burning Crusade was the best, but the raiding experience can't be denied. I didn't do it, but, man, I wanted to. And already we have a wonderful elevator to take us deeper into the Coilfang Reservoir to take on Lady Vashj. Now, we already have one quest from the Scale of the Sands that requires us to kill her, because she does have one of Illidan's vials from the Well of Eternity. But we actually also need to check in on some other issues within the Serpentshrine Cavern. So here we are in Serpentshrine, and yet another elevator awaits us. It's almost like we're going to have to deal with elevator bosses. Elevator bosses are just a thing you have to deal with in raids sometimes. I know somebody out there in the comments is like, what the hell? Elevator boss? Yeah, that's a thing. Ask any WoW raider. It's a thing. Alright, welcome everybody to Serpentshrine Cavern. So obviously much, much, much bigger than any of the 5-man Coilfang dungeons that we've come across. So let's go ahead and start our journey through it. And I'm going to try and avoid as many enemies as I can, but no promises. Thankfully, we're going to be a little bit overpowered for this area, so it might not be too much of a hassle. Screw you guys, we're just going to kill you all together. There we go. Take your money. No. I would take that for transmog, but it's plate, so unfortunately Drakfu cannot wear it. I'm going to try and avoid this guy. Nope, won't let me. That's okay, we'll just take him out. Oh, and he lets forth a bunch of, well, diarrhea on the floor. That's not cool. And we are already to our first boss, which is Hydros the Unstable, the Duke of Currents. Now let's go ahead and look into his lore, because, again, I don't know why I show this consistently, but no lore on any of these guys, just their loot. So let's go ahead and go into the bosses. First of all, with Hydros the Unstable. There we go. Yeah, let's see. There really isn't too much on him. Soloing. Nope. Let's see. So yeah, Hydros the Unstable is the first boss. He is a water elemental. There are 2 columns which channel beams of energy into him. It seems that the beams are keeping his body purified and stable. If he crosses the threshold, the columns will stop channeling energy into him, causing him to revert into his unstable poisonous form, causing him great pain. Thus, he is more or less a prisoner of Lady Vashj in the Serpentshrine Cavern, forced to guard the way to prevent any intruders from getting past. He could have been captured by the Naga and struck a deal with them, with him guarding the area and them finding a way to purifying his body. It seems now that he has no choice in the matter. He could also be acting as a component to a giant water filter. There's a lot of speculation, obviously, in this article, but yeah, he is here, so let's go ahead and take care of him. You would normally start with his ads, but we're not going to worry about them too much. Hi, Hydros! You can try and make sure that I don't interfere, but that's not really going to work for you now, is it? Nah. It does take a while to kill these guys when I'm not max level, but it's alright, I'm making up for lost time. Some big smacks. There we go! What do they look like? Oh, cool! I'll take those. Yay! So already we have our first boss taken care of with Hydros. Now the second boss is a little bit more unusual. And you guys will see when we get there, but we're actually gonna use this gangplank to get there. You actually could technically do this boss first. In fact, I knew of a few guilds back in the day who actually did this boss first and then went on to Hydros. Because I think he did drop off some good loot for, like, DPS classes and whatnot. Oh, I can't remember. Here we go. And actually, there it is. So, let's go ahead and get all these Naga gathered up. And boom! Screw you guys. Now, let's go ahead and jump on... Oh, yeah, that's right. I won't be able to do that here. Can I jump off this? Yes. Now, it is actually not the best idea to do that because there are piranhas in the pool, but we kind of don't have a choice. Now, this is actually where the second boss spawns, and he's a very unique boss called the Lurker Below. Let's see if he has any lore before I go into his uniqueness and the pain that you guys are about to put me through, because that's going to be a thing. Let's see, the Lurker Below. Okay. Lurker Below is the second boss. It is widely considered to be the easiest fight in Serpentshrine Cavern. In order, widely considered to be the easiest, earning the nickname the Loot Below. I didn't actually know that. So there really isn't any lore based around this character, or based around this boss. Just that he's basically a giant Leviathan living within Serpentshrine Cavern. Here's the thing, though. You're not seeing any boss, but you're seeing a big whirlpool. Why is that? Because the only way to be able to summon him is with fishing. You had to fish him out. So, really quick, let's go ahead and fish him out. Thankfully, you can have just skill 1 and be able to fish out the Lurker Below, but... you guys are making me do this. You guys are making me fish. I'm not happy about this. Not at all. Am I gonna have luck today? Yay! The old gnome in the sea! Oh, what's that do? Okay, successfully fish from a school. Yay! And that didn't do it. Okay, well, here we go again! Epic gameplay right here, everybody. I got an achievement for fishing in a pool. Greater sagefish. Okay, let's try this again. If we don't have any luck, I might have to magic cut while we try and fish this guy up. I was told this could happen. There we go. Nope, more greater sagefish. Okay, quick magic cut while we fish him up. Holy crap! Oh! Jeez, big Leviathan thing, and he's already summoned, and oh, now we're in trouble. Now we actually need to track down our weapons, and I'm not sure where they are. Uh-oh. Here's one, I think. Oh, that's a two-handed one. Oh, boy. Okay, well, we're gonna improvise here, everybody. Yep, that's one of them. Screw you. I will kill you! Fist of Fury! Oh no, he's taking a deep breath! I'm not dual wielding, that's why I can't use my Fist of Fury. That's okay, we're taking him out, so I'm not too worried. But there you go, yeah, this is the Lurker Below, giant fish. Or I guess the nickname is appropriate, the Loot Below. Alright, where are you? We actually have to go in here to loot you? Yes. Okay, so... Oh, some bracers for transmog. And there you go. If you wanted to see the underwater area of Serpentshrine Cavern without getting killed. There you go. Okay, so now back on track, but now we need to find the other weapon that we have. Oh, where is it? Let's see. So we had an axe and... I want to say they were both axes. Okay, we fixed our problem. I know a lot of people are probably going to put in the comments, you should really just have a set. Yeah, I probably should. But I'm not necessarily going to have one, so... Sorry. Alright, so we've taken care of 2 of the bosses. We've taken care of Hydros and the Lurker below. Now it's time for to take on the more difficult bosses in the area. I don't think I need to take out that group of mobs, but I might be wrong. We're going to go this way. This way, by that I mean left. We're going to go left up here and take on one of the more interesting bosses that are... that is in Serpentshrine Cavern. There actually isn't a whole lot of bosses to these areas. It's just because this place is big. And trash took a while to get through. Hi, big old underbog Colossus! Well, that sucks. He diarrheaed all over us again. And here's more Naga. Which look all snazzy and new because of their HD models. Let's go deeper and deeper into the Serpentshrine Cavern. And here is the next room. And you can see some Illidari banners off in the distance, which makes this room all the more cooler. Screw you guys. I know you guys work for Akama and you're supposed to work for Illidan, but screw you guys. So here is the next boss. You can actually see him off in the distance. And let's go ahead and look into his lore before we pull him, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to pull something else in the meantime. Here we go. And it is Leotheris the Blind, who's going to be one of the cooler bosses in here, I'm going to be honest. Background. We want background. There we go. Leotheris is seemingly possessed by a demon himself. Kael'thas Sunstrider originally sent Illidan Stormrage 5 Blood Elves to train as demon hunters. 3 of them died in the vigorous, exhausting training. Another, a prodigy known as Varadus Fellsoul, succeeded and now trains more demon hunters at the Black Temple, or he used to. The 5th one, Leotheris, went insane from the training and was exiled to Zangarmarsh, where he found his way into the lair of Lady Vashj. He probably found his way in and in his madness started wreaking havoc, judging by the 3 Greyheart spellbinders that keep him banished. Lady Vashj's minions successfully subdued him and are now keeping him imprisoned. Except, we're going to let him loose, because why not? We're going to let him loose and then we're going to kill him. So yes, this is a demon hunter boss. Which, for those who are lovers of the Demon Hunter, was like, yes! We get to have a moment with a Demon Hunter! Before we got to make them in Legion! Fist of Fury! And I'm going to try and take this guy out quick, because I do know that eventually he will summon his demon. The demon within him. No!
I am the master. Do you hear me? I can't contain him.
Nope, you can't. Face of Fury! There you go. Yes, it's just a part of the encounter. Alright, let's go ahead and loot him, and... Ooh, well, this was a lucky day for hunters, mages, and warlocks to get your tier 5 tokens. So now that we've taken care of Leotheris, we move ever further into the Serpentshrine Cavern, while dealing with a lot of Ashtongue, as you can see. Well, these aren't Ashtongue specifically, but these are yet more broken that serve Illidan, and I believe serve the Ashtongue. So it's like the Greyheart tribe that serves under Ashtongue. There we go. There we go. And also you could get, so people might remember when I said in the Steam Vaults that you could get Coilfang armaments in them to turn in for Cenarian Expedition rep. Same thing was here too, but unfortunately the armaments have lost their purpose and you have to find other ways to get your Cenarian Expedition rep now. And here comes the next room, which is important to us, and you'll find out why in a second. But we have our next major encounter, which is Fathom Lord Karathresh, I think is his name. Fathom Lord, yeah, Karathresh. But first, we're going to take care of these Underbog Colossi, because they can create lots of havoc in this fight. If left up. Even for somebody who's trying to solo it, it's just a pain, and you don't... If you can avoid it, why not? That one in the corner I don't necessarily need to worry about, but... I'm going to take him out anyway, because I say that, and then I'm going to have issues later. There we go. Oh, and he actually did drop a cool little trinket. It's too bad you can't transmog trinkets. So as you can see, Fathom Lord has a couple of people right next to him. He has Fathom Guard Charybdis, Fathom Guard Sharkus, and Fathom Guard Tidalves. So this is yet another council fight, obviously. This is like the Naga Council, so we do actually have some targets before we take care of the Fathom Lord. But let's go ahead and get things started. Oh, actually, let's check for some lore, and then we'll get started with this fight. So as you can see with a council fight, there's a priority. You got to take out the proper people. Usually the healer first, unless there's a DPS that just nukes your entire party. But usually it's the healer that you want to take out first. Let's see. Can be found in Fathom Lord Karathresh can be found in Serpentshrine Cavern and is usually killed as the fourth boss. The fight involves several adds and is a battle for survival, which is made easier by high DPS. And that's pretty much it. There really isn't any lore on the guy. He's just a general in the Naga forces. So let's go ahead and take him out. We're going to start off with his Fathom Guard, because he's a shaman, and ergo, a healer. Oh, screw you. Face off fury! And I'm stuck in another totems, dang it. There we go. Boingy, boingy, boingy. Yep, this is what you have to deal with sometimes. Yay! I'm stuck in the middle of a whirlwind. Gusting winds is gonna suck. Because I gotta wait for it to dissipate. And, you know what? Screw this. Dang it! It followed me! Okay, get out of here. Out of here, you dumb whirlwind. There we go. And here's the interesting part. We have a quest in here from Seer Olim. Okay, but first, let's check out the loot. Well, I already have this one, apparently. And this is a good day for hunters, mages, and warlocks. For tier 5. So let's talk to Seer Olim and see what he has to say.
I am free, but the secret is now in peril. Akama must be warned.
So the secret compromised.
Thanks again, Drakfu. I recognize your name. Akama has entrusted you with these plans, and so I will trust you as well. The Naga discovered I was working against Illidan, and tried to get me to speak by torturing me. I did not tell them a thing. Akama himself taught me to master pain through meditation. Illidan asked the Naga to bring me to him. He would have seen right through my flesh and into my soul's deepest secrets. Akama must be warned. Our plans are in jeopardy.
Okay, so this actually starts up the next bit of the Black Temple quest line, is now you need to warn Akama that he might be found out. Because Seer Olim has been interrogated. And that's not a good sign. But we're going to continue on in the Serpentshrine Cavern because we have a mission to do. And that is to take out Vashj. But first we need to take care of our minions. We're almost done with that. There's one more to take out. Now, technically, you could start with this guy and work your way to Leotheris, but a lot of people just worked on Leotheris and then made their way to Morgrim Tidewalker, who is the next boss and was great for Prot Paladins. This is really where Prot Paladins got to shine in the Burning Crusade, because they got to take care of the AoE tanking with all these Murlocs. Yep. I feel bad for saying that, but that's real. I mean, as a Paladin tank in a dominated warrior tank expansion, at least you got something. Unfortunately, there isn't really any lore for this guy, just strategy. He's the 5th boss. He's a big sea giant that has a bunch of murlocs with him. So let's go ahead and take him out. That's the sad part, is that even in the Burning Crusade, you still had bosses that had very little lore to them. I think it still even happens in Legion to some extent, because some of the world bosses aren't that fleshed out. Let's go ahead and take out Morgrim Tidewalker. Enjoy my free friend, Storm, Earth, and Fire! Oh, that's cute. The Murlocs think they can kill me. Well, they're dead now, so that didn't really work out for them, now did it? Oh no, he sends his enemies to their watery graves! You wanna know what I send you? Fists of Fury. Lots of it. It will be finished? Oh no! I'm gonna play it safe here and make sure these bubbles don't hit me. And I'm rooted. There we go. Let's see, what did we get? Nothing really that we can transmog. So, let's go ahead and advance forward. This is actually the last sub-boss. It's time for us to take on Lady Vashj herself. So let's go ahead and make our way back to the main gangplanks. But first, taking out the Naga as we go along. People might notice the Mark of the Illidari. I'm trying to remember what rep that actually was. I think it was Ash Tongue? No. Oh. I can't remember, but during the Tier 5 and even Tier 6 dungeons, you actually had to gather a rep. And it was really helpful, could get you some recipes, things like that. Maybe these guys will drop it too. Nope. We don't care. Okay. So, continuing to move forward here. Let's see if we can sneak past these guys. Yay! Now, again, I don't know if I need to kill these guys. I don't think so. So we're just going to move on to where Vashj is. Which isn't too far from where we're at. Yeah, big place, but really it doesn't have too many bosses. So that's going to be helpful. As later on, you're going to see, like, a real place with lots of bosses. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was for Scryers and Aldor. And you needed to be able to have those reps at the time. They don't really have much of a reward now, but they were really helpful back in the day. They had some decent enchants for your class and whatnot. But they kind of mirrored each other in a weird way. So you could go either way and you'd be fine. It just depended on your preference. And this is the coolest part of Serpentshrine Cavern, the opening of the bridge to Lady Vashj. Oh, it's still so cool, even to this day. So great. It just makes me really wish you could mount in here. It would be so cool to just cruise along this bridge. And let's take our next steps. And you can already see her.
Is life. It has become a rare commodity here in Outland. A commodity that we alone shall control. We are the Highborn, and the time has come at last for us to retake our rightful place in the world. I spit on you, surface filth.
Ah, dang it. I actually cut out the dialogue. I wanted to make sure you guys could hear it. But no, we've engaged Lady Vashj, so we'll take care of her lore as soon as we take her out. Oh, have we done enough damage? Nope, we have not, so... Now we have. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and heal up. So now this actually becomes a little bit of a waiting game, because she's going to have water elementals coming to her slowly. But the ones in particular that we care about are the corrupted water elementals. But in the meantime, we need to make sure that not too many actually make their way to her, because they give her a buff if they get to her. But when we take care of the corrupted elementals, we'll get a core that we can then unlock the barrier around her. but it does take a while, so just keep that in mind, people. It's gonna take a while. She might even get some stacks. Oh, cool. There's our first Tainted Elemental. Let's take him out and get the core that we need. So here's our Tainted Core. Oh, and she also will spawn some random other bosses in the meantime, just to make this even harder. I will try and take out as many of them as I can, but no promises. Okay, so we have one. And maybe we'll speed maybe we'll speed this up a little bit, just so that you guys aren't too bored with it. And I can concentrate. So, here we go. Alright, she's unleashed! Oh, she's gonna be nasty! But we're gonna kill her as fast as we can! Ah! You will not die! Yes! We killed her. Oh, we need to be careful, though. She's yeah, there you go! I knew it was gonna happen! I knew it was gonna happen! Alright, be right back. Okay, we just barely made our way back to Lady Vashj. So first of all, we're going to loot her because she might disappear at any moment. So there you go. We also get the Vile Remnant for the Scale of the Sands, which we needed. And this was a good day for Warrior Priest Druid because you got all the stuff you wanted. And that's going to go ahead and do it. Now, into the background of Lady Vashj. There's actually lots there. Supposedly, she actually met Illidan when she was a night elf, and he had been gifted his new kind of vision by Sargeras, and she was actually the nursemaid that attended him. But aside from that, Vashj is relatively not known. If you played Warcraft 3, she was the Naga general that worked with Illidan in that for the Frozen Throne. In fact, here's the one thing that I can get that I think everybody would be able to appreciate. 10,000 years later, Vashj answered Illidan Stormrage's call and followed him first to Lordaeron, where she met up with Kael'thas Sunstrider and rallied his Blood Elves to Illidan's cause. So she's the reason that Kael'thas actually joined Illidan initially. Let's see, and then to Outland when Illidan deposed Magtheridon as Lord of the Shattered World. As leader of Illidan's Naga, Vashj and her followers set up shop in the Coilfang Reservoir in Zanger Marsh, where the Naga began to pump the lakes into their underground lair. During the Burning Crusade, adventurers invaded the Serpentshrine Cavern, where Vashj made her lair and slew the Coilfang matron. Let's see. This is where it actually gets a little weirder. Let's see, we actually did meet her mother, strangely enough, in Vashj'ir. We got to meet Lastaria Vashj. She was the high leader in Matron, or she was born in the city of Vashj'ir, obviously, where her mother was high leader in Matron. She somehow left her homeland, came to the city of Zinashari, capital of the Night Elves, so in Suramar. Sometime before the War of the Ancients, once chief among Queen Azshara's handmaidens, Vashj became one of the Serpentine Naga when Azshara and her followers were sent to the bottom of the sea during the Great Sundering because of their hubris and all that fun stuff. So that's really the major lore, and what I'm also going to do is attach in the description below the story of Illidan Stormrage and probably even the story of the Naga, so you guys can get all of that, because that has all of the Vashj details, and Vashj is actually a really cool character. When you peel away the layer. She's actually very awesome. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this run-through of Serpentshrine Cavern. We've taken out one of Illidan's lieutenants. Next time, or next week rather, we take on the second, as we take on the Lord of the Blood Elves himself, or the Prince of the Blood Elves himself, Kael'thas Sunstrider. We'll see you guys then.